And hello everyone, and welcome to the campus of the University of Oregon. Boy, what a day it is today. This is probably the best day of the year. High 70s, not a cloud in the sky. The grass is freshly mowed, and we are ready for Pac-10 softball. It is the Civil War, presented by your Northwest Dodge dealers, the 17th-ranked Oregon State Beavers, and the 10th-ranked Oregon Ducks here at Howe Field in Eugene. Joe Giansanti along with my friend Robbie Kloss, who used to be digging it up here on this field many years ago. Rob, great to be out here for some Pac-10 softball today.
It is phenomenal. It reminds me so much of going back into college, and it's a deja vu day for me, Joe. I'm so excited to be here with you. Howe Field is looking fantastic. Both these teams are looking to have great years. They've already started 2-1 last weekend. Both have a share of first place, and Oregon State had a phenomenal run last year in the World Series, and Oregon's looking to get there this year.
Ducks have got some great pitching so far this year. They've had two athletes go at it. Melissa Rice, who has the yellow headband, has had to carry the load as of late. She is 2-1 in the Pac-10 season. Alicia Cook, their number 7, she had a stomach virus, and so now she had a little bit of a break, and we are not sure yet which one of those young ladies will start for head coach Kathy Aronson. Both are capable, though. Alicia Cook to a perfect game already this year, her second of her Oregon career. On the other side, well, one of the most accomplished pitchers in the Pac-10, Brianne McGowan. She led the team to the College World Series last year. She's the all-time leading winner in Oregon State history.
She's 5-0 against the Ducks also, Joe. She's had 39 strikeouts in 34 innings, so she's had good success against the Ducks. So look for her to come out and really pitch strong today.
The Beavers have not been as explosive as they were a year ago, but Brianne McGowan can dominate a game, no question about that. It is time for a key Pac-10 matchup. It's the Northwest Dodge Dealers Civil War coming up next on the Oregon Sports Network. Welcome back, everyone. Here's a look at the batting order for the Oregon State Beavers. Mia Longfellow will start it off, and look out for McGowan. Even though she pitches, she's got a powerful bat as well. The Beavers more of a manufacturing type team this year. They had a lot of power last year, leading them to the College World Series. And on the mound for the Oregon Ducks, Alicia Cook from Elmira, Oregon, threw a perfect game a couple of weeks ago. And she hasn't pitched for a couple of weeks, Rob, because she had that stomach virus. And she seems to be ready to go. The coaches said she looked great in practice.
Yeah, that's the one thing, the key. She worked very hard in practice, and coaches have a lot of confidence in her. So look for her to be fresh, Joe, have a lot of zip on her pitches today.
And they could go and move on to Melissa Rice later in the game. Here's the defensive lineup for Oregon. Jen Salling, the super freshman, one of the best freshmen ever at Oregon. She's already off to a Pac-10 leading year. She's been named the Pac-10 Conference Player of the Week. And we are ready to start. The first pitch from Alicia Cook to Mia Longfellow is high, ball one, and we are underway at Howe Field.
And Mia Longfellow, second team all Pac-10 honors last year for the second straight year. Last year batted .323. Currently batting .277 this year.
Left-hander puts it into play, right back to Cook, and she'll get the out. One up, one down for Oregon here in the top of the first inning. Great day, Rob. Just a spectacular day. For
those of you who have been to Howe Field or any baseball field on a day like today, it's 76 degrees. The grass is just freshly mowed, so you can smell that. It's just a gorgeous atmosphere here at Howe Field.
Natalie Johnson steps into the plate for Oregon State. Johnson this year hitting .352, and she'll try to step it out. And this one's going to touch the glove, and probably a tough scoring decision for the official score, but I would think probably in air.
Yeah, that's a ball that I'm sure everybody thought might have been fielded. Natalie Johnson did a good job of getting the bat on the ball and running it out. And that's a big difference between baseball and softball that I see, Joe, is the batters try to get the bat on the ball and run it out, put it in play, and there's the end of the replay right there, showing the pitcher knocking the ball down but not quite getting a glove on it.
They actually have scored it a hit, but the ball did go right off Cook's glove. So that'll be a tough one for Alicia to have to handle for the end of the year to show the initial hit. I don't know, Rob, what do you think?
Well, you know, it's a tough play because your balance going forward after you make a pitch is you're a little bit off balance. So she was probably lucky to get a mid on it, and a lot of times those are the types of plays that I give a hit to, but the second baseman was charging the ball towards the middle, and obviously the deflection made it impossible to field.
Cambria Miranda watches one outside.
Cambria hitting .361 right now, leads the Beavers with 7 home runs here in the third slot.
A ball and a strike. for the utility player from Camarillo, California. That's just, between Venice and like Thousand Oaks, right in that area, or just north of that, by Agora Hills in California. Out the Ventura Freeway.
Another little change is in softball, they call Cambria the designated player, not the designated hitter.
Softball has a very liberal substitution policy. If you watched a lot of baseball over the years, it's not like that where when you come out, that's it, and you're done for the day and you hit the showers. Here, it's you can come out, come back in. They can make a couple of different adjustments as it relates to pitchers. And a wild pitch from Cook. And just like that, Natalie Johnson is over at second base, and Miranda's count moves to 2-2. Beavers trying to strike first here in the top of the first inning in the Civil War presented by your Northwest Dodge dealers.
Beavers at 28-11 overall in the Pac-10. Overall standings 2-1 in the Pac-10 with a lot of other teams. Oregon 36-4. Conference 2-1 also. So this is a big game, Joe, as far as Pac-10 conference standings.
Ball is inside. Count is now full. And, when you look at the Civil War Series presented by your Northwest Dodge dealers, this 3-game series, or 2 here and then 1 later this month in Corvallis, that will decide that series this year between these two teams. Fouled off.
And right now it's 7-6, I believe, Oregon, and the winner of this series gets 2 points, which would put either team over the hump for that victory. But thanks to the Dodge dealers also for what they do in the lives of the college students at the University of Oregon. And couldn't do a lot of things that these student athletes are able to do without their help.
Pitch deep into the hole. Salling with a long throw gets the out. Johnson advances to third. And so 6-3 on the throw out by Jen Salling, the freshman from Canada, who has been just nothing short of amazing this year, hitting for average, hitting with power, playing great defense.
She's probably going to be on the Canadian national softball team. Just an unbelievable athlete for a freshman. She's already broken records as far as RBIs, and we'll be talking about her when she comes to the plate.
Brianne McGowan steps into the plate now, and Brianne's hitting .311 on the year. 22 RBIs on the season for Brianne. Good slugging percentage up in the .450 range. Popped up and fouled back to the right side and out of play.
Joe, in prepping for this game, looking up Brianne McGowan and visiting with her, not only is she a great pitcher, but she led her high school to 4 consecutive 4A state titles in high school, also out of Worcester in Reno, Nevada. So this is an athlete that not only competed very well last year in the World Series and currently in the Pac-10, but in high school also.
Offering from Cook a little bit inside. 2 balls, 1 strike here in the top of the first. 2 outs. Beavers have a runner, Natalie Johnson, on third base, trying to take the lead here in the Civil War. Now, runs, of course, always at a premium in college softball, especially in the Pac-10. And here's a short hopper over to third base, and Joanna Gale sends it safely to Chaput for the out, and Oregon gets out of the inning. And that must be a big relief for Alicia Cook, since she has not been on the field for a couple of weeks. She gets out of it with no damage done. We're back to Howe Field right after this. Welcome back, everyone, to Howe Field. Joe Giansanti along with Rob Kloss as we move to the bottom of the first inning here. Oregon gets out of the top of the first. Allowed 1 hit. That might have been an error, but it was a hit nonetheless, and the Beavers got a runner to third. And now the Ducks will get their opportunity here in the bottom of the first as we look at Oregon's lineup, led by Susie Barnes, who's off to a fantastic start this year. Jen Jenkins and then Jen Salling at .524 average on the season as a freshman, just having a phenomenal year so far. And so the Ducks will step in against Brianne McGowan, the dominator from Reno, Nevada. And when she gets it going, she's almost unhittable, and she was last year here in this park when the Beavers won 2-0, and Oregon couldn't get anything going all game.
Yep, and she's facing Susie Barnes, who is the heart and soul of this Oregon team, and talking to the coaching staff. Tremendous defense, just a very, very chippy player, endless energy. She feeds everybody else in the team a lot of that just by her attitude.
Susie is one of those players, as the strike is called, one of those players this year that really went to work hard in the offseason. Oregon did not make it to the College World Series last year. They had a disappointing season on the year, not able to get into the tournament, and the Ducks had been so close the previous 2 years, really to the final game to make it to the College World Series, and this is what she's been doing so well all year long.
She just puts the ball in play and then runs. Just phenomenal quickness, and she's the barometer for the Ducks. She gets on base, and it really energizes the team.
You know, Rob, that's a situation where she beats the ball to the player who's playing the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, she's faster than the ball out of the box.
Out of the box, and that's the advantage of lefties, especially in fastball.
Great effort by Susie Barnes to get Oregon a runner on here in the first with no outs. Facing Brianne McGowan. Jenkins now at the plate as the pitch is high. Susie has stolen lots of bases this year. She's really been aggressive stealing bases. It's almost been automatic for her.
Yeah, she ranks 5th all time with 56 career stolen bases, and this year right now she also currently leads the teams in runs scored with 46.
2 balls now. Make it 1 ball, 1 strike. The count for Sarah Jane Jenkins.
This is a good 1-2 combination. Both players, Sarah's very fast, and she does a lot to put the ball in play just like that. Good things happen in softball when you put the ball in play, Joe.
Sharina Galvin made a decision to go to second, but I think that's almost one of those things, Rob, where you have to know who's on base.
Yeah.
There's virtually no chance to throw out someone like Susie Barnes at second base on a play like that, but they've made the effort, and now Oregon's got something going here in the bottom of the first.
And outs are a premium in anything. You want to stop the merry-go-round right now if you're the Beavers. You want to get outs.
Brianne McGowan in 23 games this year has only allowed 30 earned runs for the entire season. And now having to get out of a jam here in the first inning. Bottom of the first as Jen Salling steps in. The shortstop,
unbelievable,
having a great season.
She, right now she's set the new RBI single season record at Oregon. There's 20 games left to go in the season, Joe. And she's got 54 already, which is a record.
And they get her on the outside corner for a strike.
She leads the Pac-10 in average at 524 and RBIs at 54, and she also has 106 assists from shortstop. So unbelievable all-around player. She's also in the top 25 as far as Player of the Year list this year, and the only freshman on that list.
Here's the pitch. Lays out for the bunt and then pulls it back for the ball. 2 balls and 1 strike here for Salling. She's been great about putting the ball in play, and this is one of those situations. She can hit behind the runners and get Oregon some runners in scoring position here. She also has been able to hit with some power this year.
The thing I love about her and watching her is she is so ready to hit. She's so aggressive, and she's got a great eye, but just watch the way she coils. She steps and stays back, and just everything about hitting she does right. But the bottom line is she's got a great hand-eye, and hitting 524, I don't care if you're playing slow pitch, it's an unbelievable.
3 balls and a strike. She puts it in play. It's kind of a lazy fly ball into the outfield, and that's going to allow Susie Barnes to tag up, and both runners will advance. So a nice play by Salling. They put the ball into play, get it deep enough, and Oregon has 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning.
Even though that won't be scored as a sacrifice fly, if you're the Oregon coaching staff, you love that because it moves the runners ahead, and with 2 very good pitchers on the mound, this could be a 1-2-0 game. That could be big down the stretch.
There's Kathy Aronson, head coach, Hall of Famer as well. Great job with this program, and she really talked a lot about just the focus of the kids after last season. Not content, coming back with some excellent pitchers this year, and then a new hitting approach, a more aggressive style at the plate.
Got a chance to talk to her before the game, and she was so excited about this year's team. And the kids are so excited just to play against Oregon State, and they know what Oregon State did last year, but she just says she has a great group of kids. They worked hard in the offseason, and she's really looking forward to coaching them this year with only 3 games into the Pac-10 season.
Anne-Marie Tops at the plate now, takes that for a ball. 2 balls, no strikes, 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. Oregon with 2 runners on base and threatening in front of a big crowd here at Howe Field today.
And Anne-Marie Tops leads the Pac-10 with 16 home runs right now.
That one is gone after deep. Is the ball deep enough to score Susie Barnes? Here she comes to the plate. She slides in, and Oregon has the lead, and that will be scored as a sacrifice for Tops and an RBI as Oregon has the lead 1-0. That's how you manufacture it. A couple of fly balls behind the runners, get it deep enough, get them in.
Yep, great job of hitting right there by Anne-Marie Tops, getting the ball in play in the air, which is tough a lot of times against Brianne McGowan, but she did it that time and easily scored the runner from third base.
That's got to be huge for Alicia Cook, too, to have that 1-run lead, maybe even more here as McGowan sends one as a wild pitch, and Oregon gets another run here in the bottom of the first inning. Jenkins comes across, and so mentioning Alicia Cook getting that 2-run cushion to start it out, given that she hasn't pitched for so long, how huge that is to jump early out onto it.
Well, anytime you can get a 2-run lead when you haven't pitched in a while, it gives you a little bit of relaxation, and I'm sure it's going to give Alicia a little bit of breathing room.
Nina Bryant is the batter for Oregon now as she squares around the bunt.
Nina started 39 of the 40 games this year for the Lady Ducks, and she also played for the Junior Women's Pan American qualifier this last summer.
Hitting .305 on the year with 29 RBIs. Change from McGowan, sails a little bit high. 2 balls and a strike with 2 outs. The bases are now clear as Oregon with 2 runs here in the bottom of the first.
Nina's one of the younger players on the Oregon roster, freshman, and doing very, very well. As we mentioned, started 39 of the 40 games, but the other thing about her, and she might be able to show her arm off earlier, she's got 8 assists from right field.
Here's McGowan's pitch, and it's hit right to the second baseman and an out for the Beavers. An easy catch for Paige Lowe, but for Oregon in the bottom of the first inning, 2 runs on 1 hit. A couple of nice pieces of hitting to put the ball into play. No errors, and they get 2 runs across here in front of a nice crowd at Howe Field. We're back with the second inning after this. Welcome back, everyone, here at Howe Field. Joe Johnsanti along with Rob Kloss. Oregon leads it 2-0 here as we move to the top of the second. Happy to have you along here on a Friday afternoon. Folks, 3 great services, 1 great company. Want to thank Comcast for helping make today's broadcast possible. 100% all digital picture and sound, plus on demand. Lightning fast high-speed internet now featuring Power Boost and unlimited calling throughout the U.S., Canada, and Puerto Rico. Call 1-800-COMCAST today. Well, Rob, an inning in the books. How do you feel being out here to Howe Field on a beautiful Friday afternoon? Well, back some memories, huh?
Yeah, it brings back memories, but like I told you, Joe, when you called me up and asked me to do this, I was so excited to get back to Howe Field, and as I was driving down this morning early, I was thinking about what a great day it's going to be, and the weather's perfect, and obviously we've got 2 very high-powered teams, 7 teams out of the 8 Pac-10 teams that play softball ranked in the top 25, so this is a high-powered conference, number 1, but also these 2 teams are ranked right up there also.
Cook with a strike to start it out to Stephanie Ewing from Scottsdale, Arizona. Stephanie catching today and swings at the second offering.
Stephanie hitting .234 right now and has 2 home runs to show for her season so far and 12 RBIs, but does a fantastic job, behind the dish.
Cook ahead in the count. Low, but it's put out there for a base hit. Nice piece of hitting by Ewing, who had to go way down for that one, and she got after it, made good contact, and the Beavers have a runner here in the top of the second inning.
Got out her sand wedge on that, hit that low ankle pitch, and just got a bat on it over the shortstop. Good piece of hitting, you called it, Joe. And a lot of times when you're facing somebody that you're having a hard time with, and you just get a bat on the ball and put it in play, like I see a lot of softball players do, good things happen.
Sharina Galvin now is the batter for the Beavers from the right side. Cook, this one's high in the air. Salling's got to go back, and the left fielder's coming in to make the catch, and not an easy catch to make by Chapman. But the Ducks now with an out here in the inning.
And Elisa Cook breathes a sigh of relief there. That was a tweener between the shortstop and the left fielder. That could have very easily dropped had there not been a good jump on the ball.
It's amazing to see Alicia how she's grown over the years, given that, I've been around this area for quite a while, and I remember her playing just youth softball as a 10-year-old and really conditioned to be a pitcher all the way, and she gets one back. Oregon a chance for two. There's one, fouling the throw, and the double play. Young is doubled up, and the Ducks are out of the inning. 1 run. Sorry about that. No runs on 1 hit, no errors. And Oregon leads it 2-0 here after an inning and a half at Howe Field. Welcome back, everyone, as we go to the bottom of the second inning in the Civil War, presented by your Northwest Dodge dealers. 2-0, the Ducks with the lead. Make sure to ensure the future success of Oregon athletics by donating to the Duck Athletic Fund. Scholarships for deserving student athletes are what you do. For more information, call the DAF office at 541-346-5433. Christy Leiter is the batter for Oregon, the first baseman. She's had a great year. Saw her really send a shot over the wall against Stanford last week when the Ducks beat the Cardinal. They actually 8-runned them. It's kind of a mercy rule in college softball. If you're up by 8 runs after 5, the game is over.
Christy not only does a good job at first base, but she also, while Cook was injured and ill, she made 2 appearances in the pitching mound, so or as they call it in softball, the circle.
Leiter, a senior from Lake Stevens, Washington. Having a good season, hitting .337 on the year. Fouls this one off to the near side. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Important inning here for McGowan after a tough first inning. Sometimes these games, Rob, can sail by so fast when the pitchers get into a groove. Next thing you know, you look up and it's the 6th inning. And, 2 runs, kind of look at it like in football sense. So a run's almost like a touchdown in college softball. Well, tough to come back. That one went off her foot.
And you look at the competency of these pitchers nowadays with the rise balls, and most of the softball games I've seen, even in high school, can be dominated by pitchers. And of course, when that happens, there's not that many at-bats to have. So games can sail by, and you're right, Joe, this game's flying by right now.
Perfect day. Just a slight light breeze coming out of the southwest, serving just to warm it up a little bit. Lots of sunburns out there today on a changeup, which looked awfully good. Called for a ball. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The count's full for Christy Leiter here in the bottom of the second inning. Oregon leading it 2-0. This is when, from a sunburn standpoint, gets a little out of control because it hasn't been sunny all year. Fouled off again out into the crowd.
Yeah, sunscreen is definitely needed today, and I was out there talking a little bit earlier with Kathy Aronson before the game, and the sun was directly in my eyes, no sunglasses, squinting more than I normally do.
Here in the shadows of Mac Court before the game, saw some of the Duck basketball guys in there actually working it out. Ball hit hard to second base, and a nice easy play by Paige Lowe, who got down on it and threw Leiter out. Good contact, though, by Leiter.
Very good contact. And speaking of basketball, Matt Court next door, I understand that Ernie Kent's big junior transfer from Canada, Franz Dorsenval, is in town and registered in school and starting to get working out.
Great. Big upper body. I've seen the young man. He's a lot of Duck fans have always said, boy, I'd love to see some muscle. And he certainly is that. He's got some muscle. As Lavina Chappett steps into the, make it Joanna Gale stepping into the batter's box now for Oregon. Second pitch, ball and a strike now for Gale.
Gale played for Team Greece in the 2004 Olympics. Right now she's holding a .977 fielding average. She's probably one of the top defensive third basemen in the country.
McGowan, this one is a nice low ball, and it's caught on the fly for the second out of the inning. Pretty easy play for Longfellow as the ball came right at her. 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning now. And now comes Lavina Chapin, junior outfielder.
Local product from Tualatin, Oregon, named as Pac-10 second team as a freshman in 2005, so very good left-handed hitter.
McGowan paints the outside corner for a strike. Ducks leading it 2-0 here against the Beavers, the 10th ranked Oregon Ducks and the 17th ranked Oregon State Beavers. Beautiful changeup in for a strike. No balls, 2 strikes now on Chapin.
Lovina, hit 2 home runs last weekend and the 4-3 win over Cal, and the last one was a walk-off 2-run homer, so she's got some pop in that bat.
One ball, 2 strikes. Bottom of the second inning. Even the Duck is here today. And that one just a heater. Right by Chapin, and McGowan is out of the inning, 3 up, 3 down. No runs, no hits, no errors in the inning. Oregon leads it 2-0 after 2 complete here at Howell Field. We're back with more after this on the Oregon Sports Network. Welcome back, everyone. Nice crowd out here at Howell Field today. The Oregon Ducks lead Oregon State 2-0 here as we go to the top of the third inning. And we'll be right back here next week for more Pac-10 softball. The Oregon Ducks take on the Washington Huskies next Friday. Friday, April 13th at 4 p.m. at Howell Field. We'll make sure to get a cover here and make sure there are no ladders around or black cats or any other bad luck things here on Friday the 13th. What a better day than to have Friday the 13th for the Ducks and the Huskies.
I'll tell you one thing. I don't think you could beat the day, Joe. So today is just absolutely glorious here at Howell Field.
Ducks with 2 runs in the first inning, and that's really been it. The Beavers threatened in the first. They got a runner to third, and that was it, though. Not able to get anything across against Alicia Cook. And now into the batter's box is Danny Chisholm, freshman right fielder from Boring, Oregon.
Went to Sam Barlow High School and gets a bat in the ball, hitting .211 right now.
One out here in the inning. Nice easy play for Cook. Of course, it looks easy from here. Never easy after you release the ball, though, huh? Get it right back.
One thing about the shortness of the diamond compared to baseball here, people don't realize how fast the ball's coming right now. If you're a first baseman or a third baseman, you're only about 20 yards from the hitter, and the ball's coming at you so quickly, your reflexes have to be like a cat.
Paige Lowe is the batter for Oregon State, the second baseman. Cook with a fastball on the outside part, and it's too far outside for a ball. The thing that makes it so difficult when you're that close, when you're just so close to the batter is, not being able to have the time to really see what the pitch is. And so these pitchers, as they mix it up, Rob, with a rise ball, a curve, both ways on the curve, by the way, unlike baseball,
yeah.
And then those changeups.
Yeah. Changeups, to me, that would be the biggest difference between baseball and softball, is that you're so close that the changeup, if you have a good one and with a little bit of movement, can just be devastating. And most of the good pitchers in softball have that good changeup, but has movement on it. So it just keeps people off balance.
Two balls, 2 strikes, and that one's fouled off. Today's umpires, behind home plate is Willie Newman. On first base, Ron Burkhart, and Dick Foote has third base. They'll rotate, of course, as the players get on. There you see a look at Willie Newman. Here's Cook with a changeup low, and that's going to load the count up. 3 balls, 2 strikes with an out here in the third.
Paige Lowe last year as a freshman had 47 starts at second base, so she's almost you could call her a veteran as a sophomore at second base. Very, very good player for the Beavers last year.
Cook keeps the ball down. It's going to be foul, though. And Lowe will step back in for another full count offering. Boy, what a day. I remember the days as a student here, Rob, when people used to sit on the houses over here on 18th on a sunny day, and maybe they were drinking a Diet Pepsi, something like that, and checking out some ball.
More than likely a 7-Up.
Something like that.
No, they used to have one of the fraternities across the way in right center. They had their lounge chairs on the roof and music blaring, and you could hear the music pregame. It was pretty fun.
There was a little taunting that went on from there too, huh?
Great environment. Yeah, the center fielders had no chance out there. The opposing center fielders, that is.
Full count. Lowe, and Lowe draws a walk. I think Cook really wanted that, but Lowe is about 6'2". Maybe against me that's a strike.
Good piece of hitting right there by Paige Lowe. You forget that last year the experience that the Beavers had at the College World Series had to help this team. And right now, even though they're ranked 17th in the country with Oregon being ranked 10, this is a group of people that young women who have done a phenomenal job in preparing for this season. And any team in the Pac-10 this year, with the 8 teams that have a team, USC and Washington State not having a team, can beat anybody else on any given day, Joe.
Mia Longfellow steps in now. Her second at bat. She grounded back to Alicia Cook to start the game out. 0 for 1 on the day. Now with a runner out there, and Paige Lowe at first base. Lowe's going, and I don't think with the left-handed batter that Amy Morris really ever saw her going. Stolen base for Paige Lowe.
One of the difference in rules this year, not this year, but in softball is that the runner can advance after the ball leaves the pitcher's hand. And that's kind of a gray area for umpires, of course. And right there, a very good jump going from first to second by Lowe.
As a catcher, I can remember those days trying to look around a left-handed batter. I know that we used to always talk about the left-handed batter with somebody on first base being big. You know, it might sacrifice exactly where you stand every time in order to be big and make sure that you be a little bit of a shield between the catcher and first base and give your runner an opportunity to get that stolen base. Now she can settle back into where she was, doing little tiny things to help your team move runners ahead.
One of the other things that is important as a team, not only the coaching staff but the players, is to watch the runner at first base. If you're on the Oregon bench, you're yelling, going, going, going. I didn't hear that on that last steal.
2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out here in the third inning for Longfellow. Cook, little change on the ground. Barnes over for the out. And the Beavers advance Lowe to third base, but with 2 outs in the inning now.
Natalie Johnson up. First at bat was a hitter that had the ball that hit off of the pitcher's glove, a 3.85 GPA in high school. She went to Lake Oswego High School where she played for Don Hunt, Three Rivers Player of the Year. Very, very good center fielder, doing a fantastic job for the Beavers this year.
Johnson's first pitch is fouled off. Cook gets the lead in the count. No balls and 1 strike, 2 outs. Top of the third inning. Happy to have you along here on a great Friday afternoon. Everybody pulling into the, going deep into the closet for all the shorts and the t-shirts and the tank tops that they haven't worn for 6 months, maybe more. And this one right back to Cook, and she'll send it over easily and gets out of another one with a runner at third. No runs, no hits, and no errors. 1 runner left on base. Oregon leads it 2-0. Welcome back, everyone. Oregon leads it 2-0 over Oregon State as we move to the bottom of the third. Happy to have you here at Howfield today. Hey folks, ready for the Junior Duck Club? It's a great way for kids 12 and under to experience Oregon athletics. Go to GoDucks.com as the first pitch is taken out into the outfield. Kids receive a t-shirt, game vouchers, and more as we have one quick out here in the inning. Boy, they jumped the gun on that, Rob.
Boy, that was a very, very good jump by the center fielder from Oregon State, and Amy Morris was not the beneficiary of that. She hit that ball very, very hard. Oregon starting catcher, who is known for defense, put a little bit of pop in that one.
The umpire barely had even given the signal, and next thing you know, there was a shot sent out to center field. That brings Susie Barnes up. Susie scored a run in the first inning after a leadoff single, a slap single, and you can see she brings the infield in, and she'll try to do it again and watches one go across for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the bottom of the third inning.
Susie leads the Pac-10 in runs scored this year with 46, so she gets on base quite a bit.
Looks to lay it down again, and that's a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes for Susie. Hitting .333, 46 runs, 26 stolen bases already this season. She slaps that one out, and she has a chance maybe for 2. And even though that touched a glove, I think that's probably going to go down as a base hit again, Rob.
I would call that a base hit, no doubt about it. And Susie Barnes, again, showing why Kathy Aronson thinks that she's so important to this team. She's just the heart and soul. She gets on base and just makes things happen by putting the ball in play. The other thing about Susie is she's a second in the Pac-10 in double plays, being a part of double plays with 15. That's a stat that not too many people talk about, but when you're turning a double play, either starting it or finishing it, that means you got quick hands, and she not only has quick feet, but she's got quick hands.
The other thing about it is that any single that she gets almost has been a double. She's had 43 hits, and 26 now make it 27 stolen bases. It's almost an automatic, Rob, that a little slap single like that into the infield is a double.
Yeah, it becomes a double once she gets on first base, because she's second in the Pac-10. I mean, we could go on about her statistical categories where she leads either first or second, but she's second in the Pac-10 with stolen bases at 27 now.
Jenkins, 1-1 count against McGowan. Here's the pitch. Some heat from McGowan is just a bit outside. One thing McGowan can do is throw the fastball. Jenkins swings at it, fouls it off.
McGowan, speaking about McGowan, was named the Pac-10 Softball Pitcher of the Week last week. So she's coming off a very good weekend of pitching performances last week. So this week can be a different story, but you know she can bring it. She obviously had a very good World Series last year.
And you know, some of the bigger picture stuff, Rob, too, as the changeup comes in and Jenkins just barely gets a piece of it. When you're the Pac-10 champion, or second in the Pac-10, or third in the Pac-10, or ranked 10th or 17th, you can make it to the championship game in the country. I mean, Oregon State was in the College World Series last year. Oregon has been on the doorstep a few times over the last 5 years. Just because it's Oregon, as one is lined out into right field and in there for a base hit. Jenkins is going to round first. Here comes Barnes. She'll roll into home, score the run, and Jenkins rolls into second base with a double and an RBI, and Oregon leads it now 3-0.
Sarah Jenkins put a charge in that. She leads the Oregon team with 13 doubles, make that 14 now, and she also leads the Pac-10 in that category.
That was a rocket.
That was a rocket.
So Salling comes to the plate, and just to finish the thought, Robbie, you know, Oregon State obviously won the baseball championship a year ago. Oregon or Oregon State, both teams are very capable of winning the softball championship this year. Oregon State was capable of winning it a year ago as well.
Well, if I remember correctly, didn't Arizona, when they won it recently, they were ranked 4th in the Pac-10 and they won the whole thing?
Salling looking to go with the extra base, and takes the extra base. kind of caught McGowan in a no man's land, not sure what to do with it, and she advances, gets Oregon out of the forest, and puts two runners in scoring position with one out.
Almost like a delayed steal there by Salling. She did a good job of putting the pressure on Breanne McGowan to either make the play at second, which might have allowed another run to score.
We'll give her a hit on the play. Oregon's third hit of the inning. Another look at it here. She just sticks the bat out there, Rob.
A little bit of backspin. Definitely going to be a base hit, but then McGowan's attention's at third base, and like that's almost like a delayed steal where McGowan really didn't want to make a commitment to throw to second base because she knew there was a runner on third, which might allow another run to score. And in a game like this, every run counts.
You know, they haven't scored it per se, but that extra base has to be accounted for in some way. I think in a major league game, that's probably accounted for as an error. That extra base. It's a tough call, though.
Yeah, it's a very tough call because
the pitcher's got the ball in her hands in the infield and is not able to make the play to get the runner out.
That is a very good point, Joe. I mean, obviously it's a single. How do they get from first to second? Well, McGowan didn't throw the ball and nobody missed it, so it's almost like a mental error.
I guess a fielder's choice, choosing not to aggressively pursue the out of second. Tough call. Anyway, no error is credited to Oregon State on the play, but nonetheless, Oregon with runners at second and third with one out, leading it 3-0 here in the bottom of the third, with Anne-Marie Tops, the conference leading home run hitter, at the plate.
I think Anne-Marie would like nothing more than get 17 right now with two runners on base. And like we mentioned, she hit one against Stanford last weekend, and she leads the conference in that category.
Boy, Salling is just making things happen all year. You know, whether it's a bunt or putting the ball in play or a great defensive play. And Tops puts it into play and gets the run home. Jenkins comes home, and once again, Oregon's batters doing their job, and another run is home for the Ducks.
Anne-Marie Tops, sacrifice fly in the first inning, and there, a good piece of hitting, just putting the ball in play. Oregon State going for the out. The runner scored easily from third base.
Second RBI of the day for Anne-Marie Tops. So she's 0 for 2 with 2 RBIs. Nina Bryant. She hits a line rocket out into center field, and she might think about 3 on this one. One run is in. She'll round second, head for third. Here comes the throw, and she is out of third. But the run is good. And why not stretch it? Although with 2 outs, Kathy Ahrens is probably thinking, boy, like to have that runner out there at second because that extra base maybe doesn't mean all that much. But a great inning for Oregon. 3 runs in the inning on 4 hits. No Oregon State errors, and Oregon leads it 5-0 here after 3. Welcome back, everyone, to Howe Field. Nina Bryant sending a shot out into right center, and the Beavers doing a good job getting the out at third base, but not after another Oregon run scored. Here's a good look at it, coming right into the third base camera. Great throw, good relay, close play, and the out is made, but not before the run crossed the plate, and Oregon leads it now by a score of 5-0 after 3. In softball, that is a big lead.
Yeah, and no doubt about that. And you hit it on that replay. Phenomenal relay by Oregon State. And that's what's the key to any good team knows that you have to hit the relay man, or relay person in this case, wherever they might be. So congratulate the Beavers on that. That was a very, very good play.
Here at Howe Field today, as I mentioned, we'll be here again next Friday for a matchup against the Huskies. We'll be at Hayward Field tomorrow for track and field, which will be seen on a delayed basis on these Comcast stations. Pepsi Team Invitational. So if you're out there and thinking about what's going on tomorrow, you can come down for a quadrangular meet. Oregon, Kansas State, USC is here, the defending Pac-10 champion, and also the Washington Huskies, and then also the softball game. So you can make a day out of it here on campus tomorrow. 2 quick strikes to start the inning for Miranda against Alicia Cook here in the 4th inning.
Miranda leads the Beavers in RBIs this year with 36 and 86 total bases. So very, very good hitter right here. Just got fooled on a great pitch by Cook.
Cook with an outside fastball. I used to love that as a catcher on an 0-2 count, just kind of bringing something unhittable, hard, and outside on that 0-2 count, try to see if you can get somebody to fish for it.
And a lot of times they do.
This one right back in onto the handcuffs, right onto the wrists, fouled off.
Got in her kitchen that time. That was right about an inch above her right knuckle, and that would have hurt. Almost got her fingers, but great pitch by Cook right there. Outside on the third pitch on 0-2, and then coming inside. I'm sure that Miranda was looking for the outside again and jammed her.
Miranda grounded out to shortstop, her first at bat. Little changeup taken hard right over to our cameraman. Jesse Smith over there almost took one off the shin. That's right, take it for the team, right?
Take one for the team.
Little delayed reaction because, of course, you're looking through the camera. So the ball hit right by his feet, and then about 3 seconds later, the reaction.
Yeah,
Good job, Jesse.
Jesse could have been in the hospital. He would have had a compound fracture in his left tibia.
Low and fouled away. So Miranda doing a good job fighting her way out the at-bat. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. She's fouled off 3 of them now. Sticking in there and making it a pretty good at-bat here. Big numbers on the year, hitting 361, 36 RBIs on the season.
Miranda started all 59 games last year for the Beavers in 4 different positions. Most of her playing time last year came in left field when they went to the World Series, of course.
Cook with a riser, a little bit high, and the count is now 2-2. Miranda's been a tough out all the way through her career at Oregon State. This one is hit hard down the line, but foul, just foul. Making it awfully tough on Alicia Cook here.
You know, there's a reason that last year she was named the USA Softball National, not Regional, National Player of the Week. That was during the week of April 5th, 17th through 23rd, and she was a first-team All-Pac-10 conference selection last year and all regions, so you know this young lady can hit.
She's only struck out 16 times in 123 at-bats, and she continues to foul it off, and Alicia Cook's kind of shaking her head like, what do I got to do to get her out?
Yeah, that's a mark of a good hitter. When you look at the strikeouts and only 16, that's a good hitter. That means that she's got great hand-eye. She gets a bat on the ball, keeps it in play, and then when the pitch is grooved, you know, she's right there ready to just crush it.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Cook delivers one in the zone, and it's taken deep and hard and over the wall. A home run for Miranda on a great at-bat. She just would not go down, and she ends it up with a home run, and the Beavers are on the board.
Well, we called that, Joe. I mean, that's just a very, very good piece of hitting right there, and she wore out Cook. Cook had to come in and couldn't get her out with her good stuff, so she had to put one down the middle, and it was parked.
At some point, you start to think about, you know, she just need to put it in the zone and let the defense handle it, but she really took it. This great contact.
Yeah, look at her locking in on that pitch right there. And, you know, when you see 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pitches, you got a pretty good idea of the timing on that. So when the ball does come in over the plate, you got a good shot of hitting it hard.
The ball actually hit the top of the TV stand out there where our camera is out there. And now the Beavers another high shot, and McGowan with a home run. So back-to-back homers for the Beavers. And just like that, they're right back in the ball game.
Back-to-back on back-to-back pitches.
That was different because that was a moonshot.
There was a no-doubter right there. That ball was a home run from the get-go.
So Brianne McGowan helping her own cause with her 4th home run of the season.
You mentioned a little bit earlier, last year the Beavers were more of a power team. This year they're more of a move it around the bases, station to station team. But the last 2 hitters, obviously, right now, the 3 and 4 hitters did a good job of getting the Beavers back in this ball game with them being behind 5-0 coming into this inning.
Chapman went back to the wall and just stood there and waited for it to come down, but it was such a bomb. It just, like you said, there was no doubt about it.
She said she missed it by a foot, so it's one of those moonshots that got up out and got out quickly.
Into the jet stream. Just like that. I mean, they really hadn't had much going all game, and the Beavers with back-to-back home runs here in the fourth. And they've cut the lead to 5-2, and here comes Cook. All really started with Cambria Miranda not willing to go down after facing a 0-2 count. She just kept fighting her way, got the home run, and now the Beavers have something going. Stephanie Ewing is the batter.
And Alicia Cook, you know, her last start was Saturday, March 24th, so it's been a while since she's been on the mound. Might be shaking off a little rust, but you know that she's probably energized in the fact that she's been not able to use her arm and everything, but stomach viruses can be tough sometimes, so for the Ducks, they're hoping that she can settle down.
Saw a shot of Kathy Aronson and Jay Gaudreau, assistant coach, as Cook comes in with a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes now.
One thing about Elisa Cook is she holds opposing batters to a 178 average, which is excellent. She leads the Pac-10 in ERA at .77. So if Alicia's going to be effective, she's going to have to continue to fight through this.
Melissa Rice is up in the bullpen for Oregon right now. I think that Melissa's thrown a lot of innings lately. She was very good against California and Stanford last week and had a tough one against Stanford in the third game of that weekend, the second game. And that's a lot of times for the same batter to see a pitch, and sometimes a team with 2 pitchers will be able to mix it up. A team like Oregon State, they've got another pitcher, Tatiana McElroy, but Brianna McGowan's the ace, and I think Oregon feels like Alicia Cook can be that, has been that, but they feel very good about Melissa Rice. I think a base hit here or anything that happens positively for the Beavers might lead to a pitching change.
Yep, and Kathy Anderson is very comfortable with that, as you mentioned. And hey, both teams have 2 good pitchers that they can go on and bring on to any game. So Kathy Aronson mentioned to me that she's comfortable either way she goes.
And a big strikeout for Alicia Cook against Ewing. And with all that's happened in this game so far, how about that being Cook's first strikeout of the game here in the 4th inning?
Coaches for Oregon really feel that Oregon's defense is probably one of the best they've had in a long time. It ranks in the top 1 or 2 in a number of different defensive categories. So the pitcher's goal is to keep the ball in play and preferably on the ground. If they do that, Oregon feels they can be in most any game.
Cook with a strike right there. Alicia 17-1 on the season for the top 10 Oregon Ducks. 0-1 to the count. Changeup is low for Galvin, who flied out to center field in the first inning, making the second inning her first at bat. Ducks lead it 5-2 here with 1 out in the top of the 4th. We've got the only shade in this ballpark, Robbie.
Yeah, this is nice. Today is one of those days where, having not been out in the sun that much lately, you don't want to be out there unless you bring your sunscreen.
In there for a strike. Another look here at Howe Field. There's the tennis courts in the background, indoor tennis courts. There's a match going on in there today. Duck ladies, and low for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes here with 1 out.
Karina Galvin, who is a senior from Moreno, California, last year played 52 starts at third base out of a possible 54 games. So very, very wily third baseman. It's been a lot of clutch situations, and Beavers come back from a lot of deficits in the last 2 years.
Ball hit her foot. Foul ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out for Galvin. I was mentioning earlier about Alicia Cook and seeing her in the youth, on all the youth teams. I mean, it's just so, I guess you start to feel really old when you see an athlete for the University of Oregon doing what she's doing, 17-1, and leading her team to a top 10 ranking, and remembering her as a 10-year-old.
Well, you know, from Elmira, Oregon, Elmira High School, not very far from Eugene, a local product doing extremely well, and obviously has had a lot of success. And I know that that sickness really put her back, and she wanted to be in the games last week. And like we said, she hasn't started since March, so this is a good chance for her to get back in the saddle again.
Of course, her sister Jenny played here in Oregon a few years ago, and her mother, longtime coach and softball pitching guru out in Elmira. Like Amy Harris, who pitched here for the previous 4 years and was a star at North Eugene High School here, it was always, you always knew that Alicia Cook was going to play for the Ducks. It's you go back through all the sports and all the years, Rob, guy like yourself or Anthony Newman. It's like that. It's like you always knew you were going to be a Duck as Young gets a base hit up the middle.
It was a dream, and for Alicia, a lot of the things that she's done. I mean, she leads the Ducks right now with 14 career shutouts, which makes that 5th in Oregon history. We've talked about her strikeouts. She has 86 now, I believe 87. I think she's had one strikeout today, but coming into the game, she had 86, and just a phenomenal athlete. And the neat thing about it is that she stayed here and played locally.
Danny Chisholm comes to the plate now for the Beavers. 2 outs here in the inning. 2 runs are home on back-to-back home runs by Miranda and McGowan. Melissa Rice is no longer up in the bullpen, so they're going to go ahead and go with Cook out of this, and we'll see where they go after it, or see what the Beavers are able to do here with a runner on with 2 down here in the inning. Danny Chisholm, the freshman, in a big spot right now. Here's the pitch. A little low, a little outside for ball 1.
Another thing about Elisa is that she pitched Oregon's first perfect game, and that was against Stanford last year in April. So that's something that's never happened down here.
That one's hit, and it's hit hard, and it's deep, and it looks like it could be. It's off the top of the wall. 1 run's going to come around. Beavers are going to try to make a play at third. Here's the throw, safe at third. The Beavers with another run home. As Young comes all the way around on a triple by Chisholm. 3 runs in the inning for the Beavers. Oregon State is right back in it now with 3 runs here in the inning, and now we'll see what the Ducks do, as I think they're going to make a pitching change now. Another look at it, Rob.
Yeah, Danny Chisholm was waiting for that pitch right there, almost knocks it out for a 2-run tater, ends up getting a sliding triple, but good piece of hitting right there by the freshman from Sam Barlow High School.
And that's going to be it for Alicia Cook as they go to Rice. And we kind of talked about this. She was probably, maybe 1 hit away, Rob, from being out of the game, and it took 2 actually to get there. And I think the Ducks were very fortunate that last one, which was smoked, just was hit more on a line and didn't get out of the park.
Well, that just shows you right there, sometimes a layoff can help you and sometimes a layoff can hurt you. In that case, I think it really hurt Alicia.
And we'll take a break as Oregon makes the pitching change as Melissa Rice comes into the ball game. Oregon at this point kind of clinging to a 5-3 lead in the 4th. Welcome back, everyone. Back to Howe Field, near Hayward Field, and right in the shadows of Matt Court as Melissa Rice is now on the mound facing Paige Lowe. Here in the 4th inning, the top of the 4th, the Beavers with 3 runs here in the top of the 4th to cut the lead to 5-3, chasing Alicia Cook. Paige Lowe now with a runner on third. Chisholm is on third after a triple, and Melissa Rice trying to get Oregon out of it here with 2 outs in the inning. This one is chopped to third. A good throw will get it done, and it does, and Oregon gets out of the inning with the lead. Right now, Oregon has the lead. 5-3 is the score. The Beavers with 4 hits in the inning, 3 runs. 5-3 is our score as we go to the bottom of the 4th. Welcome back to Howe Field, everyone. Make sure to show your true Duck spirit by purchasing the new Yellow Spirit t-shirt. Apparel can be picked up at any Duck shop, and also the competition for next year's shirt is on. So go to GoDucks.com. If you have a slogan that you think should be on the Oregon t-shirt next year, now's your chance to get involved in that. And also, while you're there, you can pre-order the Oregon Basketball DVD. Oregon Basketball 2007 championship season. Pac-10 tournament champions and a great run to the Elite Eight this year. It will be available at the U of O bookstore and Duck Shop locations very soon as we have finished editing and putting all the content together, Rob. Here as we go to the bottom of the fourth as Christy Leiter steps in against McGowan.
I'm looking forward to seeing that final product. Should be excellent. You guys always do such a great job on that.
I tell you, it's got some fun special features to it. We, when you buy a DVD movie at home and you can select the alternate audio and listen to the director or the actors talk, just kind of off the cuff. Well, we did that with Ernie, so we actually had Ernie Kent come in, and here's a look, a little bit of it right now.
Second free throw, goes the line.
Look at it, and boy, we had a lot of fun doing it, Rob.
Oh, it's well, just on another aside, I mean, what a phenomenal year, the Elite Eight for the Ducks, and after all they went through last year with all those 8 losses by 3 points or less to come back through that, and the trip to the Bahamas that they had, and just their run in the Pac-10, dominating that tournament, and then doing what they did in the NC2A tournament, I think was beyond everybody's expectations.
McGowan's pitch, a little change up, and she gets the strikeout. One thing that's really fun, as I was mentioning about doing that alternate track with Coach Kent, is during the Pac-10 tournament part of the DVD, hearing Coach just talk kind of off the cuff about how he's never really seen a team get into a zone like that. It was like they were in the Bahamas. And I said, well, you weren't playing, the Bahama, collection of beach clubs. You were playing Arizona and California and USC and doing that to them. And it was, kind of fun. And I asked him when Marty Luna hit those 2 free throws at Washington State, hey, did you really think he was going to make those 2 free throws on the road, no time left, 10,000 people screaming, and it's like, you know what, I never even thought about whether he's going to make him or not. I was just thinking about what was next. So anyway, you can watch that. We're also going to put the 2002 video, Oregon Basketball 2002 with Luke and Freddie, on that same disc, first time ever on DVD. It'll be available at your Duck Shop very soon. Here's McGowan's pitch. In there for a strike. 2 balls and a strike on Joanna Gale. Wide out to the shortstop back in the second inning. And she makes contact with the shortstop again. Longfellow comes up firing, and the out is made 2 up, 2 down here in the fourth.
Boy, I tell you what, Longfellow at shortstop for Oregon State, she is so quick, and once she gets to the ball, she does an excellent job of getting out of her mitt quickly. Maybe as good as anybody I've seen in a long, long time.
Lavina Chaput is now the batter. Have a look at this, Robbie.
Yeah, and just watch how quick she gets to the ball, gets in front of the ball, but look how quick it gets out of her glove and into first base. I mean, that is some very, very quick reflexes and also some superior hands.
Outside corner for McGowan. You can kind of sense McGowan picking up a little momentum here, Rob. She's working quicker off the mound. She looks stronger. The ball's showing a lot of pop, a lot of movement, and another strike for McGowan.
And she's in command of her changeup. Keep in mind with that fastball that she has and that riser, that changeup is awful hard to lay off of because it comes in, it looks like a fastball, but it's going at a lot slower pace.
Now is a textbook time, you might see it, but she comes with the heater outside. Again, that 0-2 outside pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes now on Lavina Chaput.
Now look for something possibly on the inside of the plate, maybe a little bit of low heat, low inside heat.
There it is, low inside heat, just a little too far inside. Now it's 2-2.
Both those balls were intended not to be strikes, but they were sniffing it. And that's what a good pitcher does, is get you to try and fish for a bad pitch when they have an 0-2 count. Now expect this to be a strike somewhere on the plate because I know she doesn't want to go 3-2.
Here comes a fastball, and she gets punched out. Chaput is out on strikes, 2 strikeouts in the inning for Breanne McGowan. So 3 up and 3 down. No runs, no hits, no errors. Oregon leads it by a score of 5-3 as we go to the top of the 5th inning here at Howe Field. And welcome back, everyone. Oregon leads it 5-3 here in the top of the 5th inning. A nice crowd here at Howe Field today. And they'll be here tomorrow as well. And a lot of stuff going on here on campus tomorrow. We've got men's tennis against California, the Ducks and the Bears. 1 o'clock in the Student Tennis Center. Also the track and field meet coming up tomorrow at Hayward Field. Expect a crowd of about 6,000 for the Pepsi Team Invitational. Again, it's Oregon, Kansas State, USC and the University of Washington in a quadrangular meet. Should be a perfect day for that as well. And also more Civil War softball as Melissa Rice takes to the mound here in the 5th inning against Mia Longfellow. Ducks leading 5-3. They were up 5-0. But the Beavers came back with 3 runs in the 4th inning.
First chance we've had to talk about Melissa Rice, who, with Cook under the weather, has made the last 6 starts for the Ducks. And so she's been 5-1 in that time frame. And she started the Pac-10 this year with a 4-3 win over Cal and then an 8-0 shutout over Stanford. So she's off to a good start.
2 balls, no strikes. Rice brings in some heat. It's outside, though, and she's in danger of putting a leadoff runner onto the base here with a 2-run lead in the 5th. Longfellow has grounded out twice, 0 for 2 on the day. One time right back to the pitcher spot, the other time to second base. And the pitch is outside, 4 straight pitches and a walk, a leadoff walk, which a lot of times, Rob, come back to haunt you in any level of baseball or softball.
Yeah, leadoff, walks, just always seem to haunt you no matter where you're playing. And right now with Longfellow on at first base, and the Beavers coming off of, before this game, had 61 stolen bases. The program record was 70, and that was set back in 2005. They now have 62, of course, but look for Longfellow to be going to second at some point during this next at-bat.
You saw head coach Kirk Walker with the signs. What a great job he's done at Oregon State, his decade plus with the Beavers. The College World Series last year, Pac-10 championship, and he's done it all at Oregon State, recruiting heavily into California and Arizona, really tied into the club scene in California, sporting that new Oregon State logo that we saw all about the other day. A brand new logo the Beavers have introduced.
Yeah, drop the university, I understand. It's just going to be Oregon State, and that should lead to a lot of new sales for all those people who want to get the brand new logoed gear.
It probably would have helped if Oklahoma State wouldn't have been orange and black. That always created some controversy, or at least some confusion around the country. You know, if you're on SportsCenter and it's an orange and black OSU, it was always like, well, is that Oregon State or Oklahoma State? And I think this is one of the reasons they made that change.
Yeah, I think also, as I mentioned, it could be something that could lead to a lot of sales as far as merchandise goes.
1 ball, 1 strike on Natalie Johnson here in the 5th inning, no outs. Johnson represents the tying run here for the Beavers. Rice's pitch, fanned at, tipped, and a strike.
Trying to sacrifice bunt, and Oregon State as a team right now leads the Pac-10 in sacrifice bunts with 43, and Natalie Johnson, who's at the plate right now, is in the conference lead with 11 sacrifice bunts this year.
Certainly Melissa Rice throws with a little more velocity right now than Alicia Cook. 19-3 on the year, a 1.55 ERA, although it's a little misleading. As this one's slapped, Ducks are going to take the sure out at first. Get the out in the inning, and Longfellow moves up to second.
And that's just as good as a sacrifice for Natalie Johnson. Slapped that ball, put it in play, knowing that Longfellow, with her quickness, would be able to make it to second base. And the Ducks, from their point of view, want to get an out.
That brings Cambria Miranda back up to the plate. She's the one who started the Beaver comeback in the first place with a home run right to our camera position in center field. Last inning, Beavers got on the board and then got a couple more after that. Here's the first pitch. It's chopped to the third baseman. Takes a look at it and then overthrows it to first base. Now the Ducks, it's a dead ball. The run will score. Miranda goes to second. And the Beavers are now within a single run. First error of the ball game for Joanna Gale and the Ducks.
Yeah, Joanna Gale on that play was looking at the runner coming from second base to third base, and that little bit of attention caused her to take her eye off the target. She overthrew into the Oregon State dugout.
That's a tough one when you're the pitcher as well, because you did your job. Got the best hitter on the other team to just ground into an easy 5-3 and not able to get the out.
Yep, and that's sometimes going to be a momentum changer, and that's something that good teams will overcome. Ducks are still in the lead 5-4 with Brianne McGowan, who just tatered her last time at bat on the first pitch that she saw over the left field fence.
First pitch, high and outside, ball one. McGowan represents the go-ahead run now for Oregon State. And when it was 5-0, we said what a huge lead it was, because in softball, 5-0 was a gigantic lead, but the Beavers have come back from it. With 4 unanswered, the tying run is on second base, and Rice's second pitch is outside for ball 2. Probably not a bad idea not to give McGowan anything great to hit, even though she represents the go-ahead run here, Rob. She's got a heavy bat. Ewing is up next. Not nearly as effective as a hitter as McGowan has been. And also, you put a force into play with a slow runner at the plate. And there it goes. The Beavers have the lead. Another home run for Brianne McGowan.
Boy, when she gets her hands extended, Joe, it's out of here with these short porches. 190 down the left field line, 220 in center. She just put a good swing on that, made good contact, and that ball was no doubt about it, type of a home run.
6 unanswered for Oregon State in the last 2 innings, and they now lead it 6-5, and the Oregon State fans in attendance love it. That kind of goes back to that idea, Rob, about, of course, you know, baseball, softball are always sports you can look back and stuff, but he gave her a heck of a good pitch to hit with first base open.
But look at that. It's an pitch on the outside part of the plate. She just got her hands extended and made good contact, and there was a no-doubter on that. That was just a great piece of hitting right there by Brianne McGowan.
Now if you're Oregon, it's kind of a soul-searching time. They had all the momentum, 5-0. Just cruising at home, got your top 10 ranking, and now all of a sudden, before you can turn around, now they're facing a big challenge and a deficit here. And Melissa Rice has to get out of this and get the Ducks back to hitting at the plate.
Well, and she can do it. She's a very, very good pitcher. I mean, Oregon is 18-4 right now. Has been in a lot of very, very good games, and Oregon is ranked 10th in the country. So this is the type of game we expected. We just didn't expect it to be this many runs scored.
First pitch is low. Ewing struck out her last at bat. She's got a single as well back in the second inning. Brianne McGowan is doing the damage today. Boy, with 2 home runs, 3 RBIs. And
she settled into her pitching also. Yeah. She seems much more comfortable the last 3 innings, and after Oregon State scored a few runs, she felt a momentum switch, and she seems to have caught that momentum and has really settled into pitching very, very well the last couple innings.
Rice's pitch is outside for a ball, and the Ducks just can't get anything to go their way. Ball looked pretty good.
Melissa's 19 victories right now this year is a tie for first in the Pac-10, and she's pitched 16 complete games. This is the first time in a while she's come off the bench to play, so let's follow that for a little bit. But she's been doing an excellent job in the circle this year, and right now it looks a little bit unsettled after that home run.
Draws the walk. He goes to first base. The Beavers already with 3 runs in this inning. They've been able to do it on 1 hit. They got a leadoff walk, another walk, an error on Oregon defensively on the third baseman, and then 1 big home run. So it's tough if you're the home team and you've given up 3 runs on a single hit. That's where Oregon finds themselves here in the 5th inning.
We talk about it a lot when we do our games together in basketball, Joe. The mark of a good team is coming back, and Oregon State has come back from a deficit on the road, and the Ducks have the same opportunity, having the Hammer being the home team next time at the plate. Right now, what Melissa Rice has to do is stop the bleeding and get some outs.
Strike on that play, and the crowd with kind of a mock cheer like thanks for calling a strike. It's been a while. Second pitch, down a little low. All on a strike for Galvin here. One runner on and one out in the fifth for Oregon State. Now the Beavers leading it 6-5.
Marina Galvin hitting 308, moves her hands quite a bit, a little bit fidgety in there as she's standing in there. And as a senior out of Moreno, California, she's been in a number of games. That's something that's kind of interesting to watch. People have different habits. Baseball players, remember Joe Morgan used to flap his elbow, watching him when I was a kid, and looks like Marina has one of those same little, or Sharina, I'm sorry, Sharina has one of those same little twitches.
Beavers have a pinch runner in the ball game, and they get a stolen base. Mindy Bean played a lot this year for the Beavers, running for Stephanie Ewing, and she steals the base, and the Beavers with another runner in scoring position here with one out in the fifth.
That's a Beavers 63rd steal of the year, and their record is 70, so they should reach that with over 20 games to go very easily.
Rice with a strong pitch and a strikeout on Galvin. Brought the heat that time. Maybe that's her groove. Bring that heat.
Yeah, that high heat usually works for me, especially on the rise balls. But right now, it looks like Melissa is having a little bit of trouble with her control, and that was a good sign for her to get that strikeout.
Ann Young is now the batter. She puts it into play. Susie Barnes picks it up and gets the out, and Oregon gets out of the inning, but not after the Beavers strike big. 3 runs on 1 hit, 1 Oregonair, and the Beavers take the lead 6-5 as we move to the bottom of the fifth. Welcome back, everyone, to Howe Field. Oregon is trailing Oregon State 6-5. Make sure to purchase an Ozone membership today, everyone. Get your exclusive content on the Ozone. 15 months of coverage for the price of 12. For more information, go to GoDucks.com. The Ozone, I always say it's the great gift you could give anybody who's overseas serving the country in the military, or somebody who may be working out across the country. I know I've got some friends who work for Nike in other parts of the country, and they stay connected to the Oregon Ducks through the Ozone.
Blair Williamson's up for the Ducks right now, who typically pinch hits, gets at least 1 at-bat game. Very, very feisty and aggressive player. She's out of Salem, Oregon. Sprague High School, getting her at-bat.
Second offering from McGowan is in for a strike. One thing that is happening right now, McGowan has 799 career strikeouts. And as you see, Blair, the one thing about it, Rob, with Oregon having 5 runs on the board and Oregon State with 6 now after scoring 6 unanswered, strike 2 is called, Oregon State does not give up runs. I mean, they have not given up more than 5 runs all season. It would take the biggest offensive output of the year for Oregon to win this game now with 5 runs, trailing at 6-5. Brianne McGowan just doesn't hardly ever give up any runs. 1, 2, 0, 1.
Yeah. Well, she has a 1.36 ERA going into the game today, and she's just one of 3 pitchers in OSU history to record back-to-back 20-plus seasons. She's thrown 3 complete game with 10 shutouts. So, I mean, she's a pretty amazing pitcher, and she's very, very durable. She starts almost every game for the Beavers the last 2 years.
And really the only way the Beavers have really lost anything this year is because they haven't been able to score runs. If you look at their roster this year, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of their losses came when they did not score.
Right.
They were shut out. So to get a 6-run advantage, I mean, the Beavers have not lost in a couple years with 6 runs on the board offensively. And now the Ducks with just 9 more outs to make hay and try and get over the hump here.
And this freshman, Blair Williamson, out of Sprague High School, who currently, by the way, is hitting .531 on the season, that's having a very good at-bat right now against Brianne.
As you mentioned, Rob, 32 at-bats on the year. She has not homered yet on the season. And this one she puts into play and trying to work her way down the line, and on the bag and an out. Nice play over at first base by Deanne Young.
Yeah, Deanne Young did a great job right there of keeping her foot on the bag. Being an ex-first baseman, a lot of times shortstops, third baseman throw it off the base, and right here, watch this. Great job of keeping the foot in the bag and in contact.
So Susie Barnes is going to come to the plate. And again, for someone like Susie, if she can get on base, it's almost like a double. She's 27 of 30 on stolen bases this year. One down here in the bottom of the 5th inning. McGowan's pitch is outside.
Talk about Susie Barnes and how she can energize a team right now with her team down by 1. Oregon needs a spark, and typically Susie's been the one to provide that spark. So let's see what happens with this at bat.
It's the outside corner. Ball and a strike. 1 out. 144 career runs for Barnes. Takes a wave at it, trying to slap one out into play.
Susie, an interesting little stat on Susie. She started 184 consecutive games, Joe. I mean, here she is, and a little spark plug.
Pitch looked a little high. It is. Beavers wanted the K, but a little bit up in the numbers.
She gets on base, she typically scores. She's second in the Pac-10 right now with 46 runs scored. So, like you called it, Joe, if she gets on first base, usually it means a double.
Ball outside, loads the count, 3-2. Barnes trying to get on. McGowan trying to get her 800th career strikeout. Beavers trying to beat the Ducks for the 8th time in a row. Oregon trying to stay in the top 10 in the nation. Here's the pitch. And it's outside, and Barnes draws the walk.
You know, the Beavers in the last 7 games you mentioned have beaten the Ducks. Prior to that, I was looking back through the records. The Ducks kind of had their way with the Beavers prior to that. So it's kind of an ebb and flow series the last 6 or 7 years with the Ducks and Beavers. And right now the Beavers are riding the wave.
Mary Jane Jenkins, the outfielder, sophomore from South Salem High School. Now it's a matter of whether she's going to go ahead and take one here and see if they can't get Barnes to second. Here's McGowan the pitch. Sends in the heater for a strike. Barnes staying put. Sorry, Robbie.
Jenkins is second on the team this year in batting with .417 as far as her average. So that's 4th in the Pac-10. Very, very good hitter. Great 1-2 combination.
Squares for the bunt. There goes Barnes, and it's slapped away. And I think a little miscommunication there because it looked like maybe a hit and run was on. And I don't think Susie Barnes was maybe going to go there.
Even if she gets a slow start, I still like her chance to get to second, Joe, with her speed.
1 out here in the inning. See if the Ducks force the issue. Barnes represents the tying run. 2 strikes, no balls, 2 strikes. And it's not a bad pitch to run on, really, because it's a little dangerous for the pitcher to deliver something that's hittable. Make the catcher chase or get out of the groove a little bit, makes it a tougher throw down to second. Probably what they're going to talk about right now.
Exactly. Right now, I'm sure that Brianne McGowan is going to talk to her catcher about what she wants to do right here in this situation, because she knows right now in a 1-run game, you do not want Susie Barnes on second base if all possible. And Sarah Jenkins, she's tied for the team lead with 55 hits, so she's not a bad hitter either. So theoretically, you and I have talked a little bit about even if a runner isn't at second base, a single doesn't necessarily mean a score, but it will move the runner.
And what's difficult for Oregon here is you've got Jen Salling coming up to the plate next. Barnes isn't going, and it's a ball. Beavers thought she went. I think Kirk Walker wants some help. They think she went after it, trying to get some help, and they say no. Second base umpire says she did not go around. 1 ball, 2 strikes. But that would have been a good pitch to run on. A high ball like that on the outside. Right-handed catcher, of course. A lot of strategy at play right here with Salling coming to the plate. 1 out. Ducks don't want to get a strikeout, throw-out double play. There goes Barnes. She's headed to second. She slides in, and she's safe.
I am so impressed with her. She is so quick, such a heady ball player. Now I know why the coaches love her so much. I've seen her a couple times, but this is the first time live. I just absolutely love this little athlete.
Such a game-changing play because the advantage shifts now. You know, it shifts to Oregon. You've got a runner on second who can score on a base hit. 1 out in the inning, and you've got your 2 best hitters back-to-back. 2-2. Here's the pitch. Inside corner. Count is loaded up now. Full count for Jenkins. It's the Civil War. This is what you get. 2 of the best teams in the Pac-10 and the nation battling it out here at Howe Field. Here's McGowan's pitch. Swung on into play. Barnes is going to third, and she is out at third. McGowan did not hesitate. And I think Kathy Aaron saying she was sitting on the base when she was tagged. Got tagged at the waist. That was always the argument. If you get tagged in the shirt or in the waist, there's no way they can tag you out. That means you're sitting there safe. We'll see it again.
Go ahead and take another look at Brian McGowan. No hesitation. Gets right up, throws it to third base. And the only thing you might want to call right there, she's definitely out. She never got there. Good job blocking the third base angle there also.
That's a good call. She's out. 2 outs in the inning. Oregon now with a runner on first, and so, you know, I know that that's just a tough break for the offensive team, Rob, because, you know, you're instructed any contact, you know, in that situation for her, although a ball in front of you in any baseball or game, any ball in front of you, you can't go. You got to wait and let that play out. But that wasn't exactly in front of her. You know, it was one of those tweener balls right back to the pitcher.
Right. That was a tough play, and instincts sometimes go into play, and very, very interesting situation right now with Jen Stalling, who is leading almost every offensive category in the Pac-10 right now as a freshman.
Yeah.
See how this plays out.
Jen Stalling at the plate. Here comes the pitch from McGowan. Outside, ball 1.
One thing you know, Brianne McGowan knows, you know, how good Jen Stalling is, and she's going to be very careful right now, knowing that she doesn't want to put a meatball in here right now because Stalling will take it out.
Stalling is 1 for 2 on the day. She has a single and flight out to center field, and now a delayed steal for Jenkins, and Oregon now has another runner in scoring position, and now the Ducks have a big opportunity for a freshman to come through here.
One of the fastest players in the team, Sarah Jenkins, right there, takes advantage of her speed and gets in scoring positions right now for Jen Stalling, who leads the Pac-10 and not only average at 524, but RBIs with 54.
1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Talking to Coach Jay Gaudreau about Stalling a little bit earlier today. Just what a confident, athletic player she is. And what a boost she's given. Here's one taken out to center field. It's deep, it's back, and it is out of here. A home run for the freshman. And the Ducks are back in the lead. What can you say about the freshman?
The reigning Pac-10 Player of the Week comes through in the clutch for the Ducks right there. We talk about good players do good things in clutch situations, and Jen Stalling in her young career here at Oregon, that's a pretty nice little hit. I think she'll remember that for a long time here in the Civil War.
Her 9th home run of the year. Right on top of our cameraman out there. Brad, it's a good thing we put the cover up because 2 balls have gone right there. Another look at it. Right into your living room.
Look at her, just the way she's ready for the ball. She makes great contact with every pitch. She gets a good look at it. I'm just very, very impressed with Jen Stalling. Just an unbelievable hitter. What she's done as a freshman is pretty darn special. Now we got Anne-Marie Tops, who's not a bad hitter in her own right, leading the Pac-10 in home runs with 16.
And 7 runs this year given up by McGowan is the most she has given up this season. And the Ducks regain the lead. Strike is called on Tops. 2 quick strikes. No balls, 2 strikes, but the most they've given up. And how about that? The Beavers come all the way back from down 5-0, and then the freshman Jen Salling with a 2-run homer to put Oregon back on top, 7-6 here in the 5th inning. Low, but I think Tops might have gone, and they punch her out down at first base. That was the right call. She crossed the plate with the bat, and with that, Brianne McGowan has her 800th strikeout, but not before giving up a 2-run home run to Jen Salling. The Oregon Ducks have retaken the lead here as we go to the 6th. Welcome back, everyone, to Howe Field. 7-6, Oregon leads it after coming back and getting a 2-run home run in the 5th inning from Jen Salling, the super freshman, making a bid not only as the freshman of the year, but possibly the player of the year in the Pac-10, and making a case nationally as well, having just a phenomenal freshman season. And Melissa Rice now 6 outs away from leading Oregon to the victory over the Beavers if she can do it. The Beavers, though, have been very good about manufacturing runs this year. And Danny Chisholm will lead things off here for Oregon State in the top of the 6th, Rob.
Well, you talk about Jen Salling, and, there's a reason why she's in the top 25 softball players in the USA Softball periodicals. She's the only freshman. There are 7 players from the Pac-10 on that list, but to be the only freshman out of the top 25 players in the country, that says a lot for her right there. She gets a lot of respect.
Rice delivers some nice heat. Fouled off. 2nd strike. No balls, 2 strikes to Chisholm. Bottom of the order here for the Beavers. Chisholm, then Lowe, then back to the top with Mia Longfellow. Brianne McGowan with 2 home runs today. One was a solo shot, the other one a 2-run homer. And also 4 strikeouts on the day, giving her 800 for her career.
Chisholm had a nice at-bat last at-bat, hit a line shot to right field for a triple.
This one she slaps out. Rice has it and goes to first. A little high for the throw, but good enough for the out. 1 up, 1 down for the Beavers here in the top of the 6th inning. Boy, great crowd out here today, seeing a very entertaining softball game. We're happy that we could bring it to you here on the Oregon Sports Network, thanks to Comcast and our friends at ESPN Regional, Tim Roberts, the general manager, Jerry Hanks, working in Portland. Changeup is good for a strike. Shelley Jordan, Michelle Frechette, Courtney Oversby in the Oregon ESPN Regional office here in Eugene. Joe Johnsante along with Rob Kloss. Rob, of course, played basketball, which we've talked about many times, Robbie, but also played baseball at Oregon way back when the Ducks had a program.
Mel Krause was the coach at the time. Got a chance to play with guys like Donnie Reynolds, Dean Roberts, the brother Dave Roberts, who was a #1 draft pick before I got to school. And
Dave and Donnie both played for the Padres.
Exactly, and just a great program at the time, and really miss that, coming down and watching baseball down at Howe Field. Hopefully at some time that might come back. Oregon, one of the few teams, Division I teams, not to have a baseball program, and I know that's something that's been discussed over the years, and maybe that might come back at some point, but sure is great to be back and brings back a lot of memories. I know I've talked to Mel Krause quite a bit here recently, played a little bit of golf with him. He's doing well. He's hoping that things come back, but right now we're talking Beavers, Ducks, softball, and it's just great. Doesn't matter whether it's softball, baseball, it's great to be back at Howe Field.
And to see where these two programs have come, and even Oregon State winning the national championship in baseball last year, and Oregon and Oregon State being of the nation's elite teams in softball. Melissa Rice delivers. It's hit into left field, and a nice running catch is made out in left field by Lavina Chappett, who gets over there and makes the catch for 2 outs here in the inning.
And Melissa Rice goes, "Thank you." That ball was hit right on the screws, and that could have been an easy double down the line, but just a great swing right there by Page also.
Chappett got a good jump on it, as you can see there. So the out. 2 down here in the inning. Back to the top of the lineup, Mia Longfellow. Rob, you even brought your batting helmet, didn't you?
Yeah, it's around here somewhere.
You got to dig that out. We have to show people. Maybe you get that on. I know when you put it on, people mistook you for Tom Selleck earlier today.
Can't put on my headset. I guess I could a little bit.
Maybe see how that looks there. Try that on. There you go. Just pull the headset right off. There it is. you do look like Tom Selleck. I gotta say.
No, what we did is we played with these things. We batted with them, no ear covers, and it was nice because you didn't have to switch helmets when you're on first base, and you roll your running helmet after you hit.
Jenkins makes a nice catch out in center field as soft fly ball by Longfellow goes for an out. 3 up, 3 down. Ducks are 3 outs away. They'll come to the plate in the bottom of the. And welcome back, everyone. Oregon leads at 7-6 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. A look over top of downtown Eugene, high atop the U.S. Bank building in downtown. As we move a couple of miles east of that, we want to thank Comcast for making today's broadcast possible. Also track and field and next week's softball match as well against the Washington Huskies, Oregon and the Huskies. Comcast, 3 great services, 1 great price, 1-800-COMCAST today.
What a gorgeous day, Joe. Just great to be here. Phenomenal being on a baseball field and watching the Ducks Beavers live is really, really neat right now. And it's about 75, 76 degrees, very comfortable. And not only that, but we got a great game, 7-6 Oregon.
Great game, great crowd as Nina Bryant puts it into play, but she's quickly out on the first pitch of the bottom of the 6th inning. But a great day and a great game against 2 teams, I think, Rob. It shouldn't get lost that these are 2 of the best teams in the nation. Oregon came in unranked, and they climbed all the way to number 10. Oregon State has lost more than they're accustomed to losing, and so they've fallen to 17. But at some point of the year, they were a top 10 team as well, and likely have a chance to get back to that. Today, they've shown the kind of offense they showed last year, a lot of power with 3 home runs on the day.
Well, you and I talked a little bit. 7 out of the 8 teams that play softball in the Pac-10 right now are currently ranked in the top 25. So you make the argument that the Pac-10 is the toughest league in the country. I'll go with that. A lot like we talked about how the Pac-10 in basketball now is getting national respect, and there was a chance that in basketball 4 teams that went to the Sweet 16 would have been from the Pac-10 had Washington State taken care of business.
Yeah. 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the 6th. 2 pitches, 2 outs for McGowan. And now coming to the plate is Joanna Gale, the third baseman. And the changeup is over for a strike. That's just an unhittable pitch right there coming from McGowan.
That's not fair with McGowan, who just brings it so fast, and then all of a sudden she changes you up at the beginning. Definitely off stride.
See if Gale can pick her pitch. I know talking to these kids, a lot of times they'll go to the plate against a pitcher like McGowan and just looking for their pitch and being patient enough to wait for it and then getting it and then turning on it. Here's a ground ball, tough play from third, and 3 quick outs. 3 up, 3 down, no runs, no hits, no errors for Oregon in the bottom of the 6th inning. Melissa Rice comes to the pitching circle, 3 outs away from a victory for the Ducks. The Beavers looking for a rally here in the top of the 7th. Back with that after this. Welcome back, everyone. Oregon leads at 7-6 as we go to the top of the 7th inning. A highly entertaining Pac-10 softball matchup today. The Civil War presented by your Northwest Dodge dealers. Beavers have won 7 in a row. Oregon is ranked 10th, playing for first place in the Pac-10. Back and forth, great drama, home runs, records, everything you could ever want. And folks, spring football is underway as well. The spring football game coming up Saturday, April 28th at 2 p.m. at Autzen Stadium. 3 food items get you into the stadium. We'll see you there on the 28th. Melissa Rice in the circle. And into the heart of the Beaver lineup, Natalie Johnson at the plate for the Beavers.
I was just going to say that, Joe. If Melissa Rice is going to get it done, she's going to have to do it against Natalie Johnson, the 2-hitter for Oregon State. Cambria Miranda, who hit a home run, designated player, and then Breanne McGowan, who already has 2 home runs this game.
Rice gets one right back at her, knocks it down, can't get a hold, and safe at first base. Rice just could not stick a fork in it.
Good hustle by Natalie Johnson right there, putting the ball in play, and Melissa Rice, just, you called it, Joe, couldn't get a handle, and it could end up costing her right here. As we talk about leadoff hitters getting on, just kills a team.
Close play at first, and the Beavers with something working here, and again the official scorekeeper is reluctant to charge an error, and they'll score it as a hit, or they're still in discussion about it.
They got to be still in discussion about that. That was a comebacker knockdown. You just got to put, like you said, a fork in it, make the easy play to first. So I'm sure that's going to be one that Melissa Rice is going to lose some sleep about if the Beavers come back and win this game.
Cambria Miranda, the tying run is at first base, no outs, top of the 7th. Beavers retook the lead at 6-5, and then Jen Salling hit a 2-run homer to put Oregon back in the lead. Here's a pitch down towards third base. I think it's a foul ball, though, which probably works out pretty well for Oregon because it would have been an incredibly tough play.
That would have been a base hit. There's no doubt about that would have been a base hit. There's no way you can come up and make the throw from that play. But, again, what quick reactions. Just quick reactions right there.
So the tension is thick here at Howe Field.
Well, Miranda, in my opinion, changed the ball game around with her at-bat their second time around, which we hit that home run after basically really working Elisa Cook to about, I think, 9-10 pitch count. She ended up hitting a home run, and after that, of course, Brianne McGowan hit one out.
Right back to Rice. Chance for a double play, and she throws it into center field. How the game can change on a single play just like that. Ducks look like they had a tailor-made double play, and instead the Beavers with runners at first and second and no outs.
Tailor-made double play right here. Just a high throw. Would have been an easy double play right there with a good little throw. But again, the Beavers putting the ball in play and making the Ducks make plays. Melissa Rice right there, I'm sure, again, makes that play under normal circumstances. That's 2 errors in a row.
They did credit an error on the previous play as well. So for Oregon, 3 errors in the game. And now runners at first and second with no outs here. And look who's coming up to the plate, Brianne McGowan, who already has 2 home runs on the day. And no other choice but to pitch to her. Can't work around her here at all.
Well, right now, Brianne McGowan, I mean, she had 3 total coming into this game, so she's got, she's almost going to double it if she hits one out here. So she's having a phenomenal day at the plate right now and getting confidence as innings go by, pitching also. So it's going to be a big at-bat, big test for Melissa Rice.
The Beavers have hit 2 comebackers here in this inning, and they've got 2 on, no outs. You think that Oregon, they're really going to smart if they're not able to hold on here today, having this one basically almost in the bag. Can't really say that because they got a real rally going here, but pretty reasonable to expect 2 comebackers to be 2 outs.
Right, and like I said, this is going to be a very interesting at-bat to see how Melissa Rice pitches Brianne McGowan, who's just doing it all today from not only the mound but hitting.
Ducks are playing McGowan deep into the hole and deep in the outfield. She hits one into the hole. Salling can't come up with it, and the Beavers have the bases loaded here in the 7th. Would have been a tough play anyway because it had that 5-6 hole dialed in. A lot of players might not even have gotten to that ball.
Yeah, and that also, in my opinion, took a bad hop. I think Casals did a very good job of keeping in front of it. So good play to keep it in front of it. Beavers look like they're on the way to scoring at least 1 run this inning, possibly 2 or 3, depending on Ducks can stop the bleeding here.
McGowan gives way to a pinch runner. Melissa Rice on the mound. No outs, bases loaded. Top of the 7th, Beavers trail it by 1. Oregon would come up at the bottom of the order. Stafford, Morris, and then back with Susie Barnes in the bottom of the 7th if they need to go into the bottom of the 7th. Ducks are playing tight at the corners, but double play depth at shortstop and second base. First pitch, outside for a ball.
And right now, keep in mind with the corners playing in, a double play is in order home to first. Force out at any base right now if you're the Ducks.
And Ewing here really has a big opportunity, and Oregon needs to be thinking, cut off that run as the pitch comes in with some heat for a strike.
Right now, if you're Oregon, you're hoping for a pop out, keep the double play in order for a ending double play.
And a game-ending double play if they were able to get a strikeout here. So, a lot that could happen here. Ewing is 0 for 3. She walked in the 5th. Here's the pitch. Low, and a nice job blocking the ball by Amy Morris, young catcher for the Ducks. 2 balls and a strike.
Doing a .234 hitter in this situation.
Rice needs to come in with a strike. She does. It's going to be trying to cut off the plate, and Oregon cuts the run off at the plate with 1 out. A great play by Susie Barnes. Natalie Johnson came in hard. Did a good job breaking up any opportunity for another play out there, but is out at the plate, and Oregon gets an out here without giving up a run.
Susie Barnes, the heart and soul of this team, comes up with another big play. Let's take another look at it right here. But whole infield's ready, bases loaded. Any base works, but you want to cut off that run if you can, and that's exactly what happened. Good play by Susie Barnes.
1 down now as Galvin comes to the plate. First pitch is low for a ball.
Galvin, a good hitter in her own right, hitting .303 right now. Third baseman up in a clutch situation right here for the Beavers.
0 for 3 on the day. And they want to talk about it a little bit. Galvin flied out to center field. That presumably would get a run home here with Randa sitting on third base. Good speed. Also grounded out to the first baseman and then struck out back in the 5th inning. Senior third baseman takes a pitch low, and the crowd does not like it. All the infielders come in, 2 balls and no strikes.
Melissa Rice wants to call on a little bit of that magic that made her the Pac-10 Pitcher of the Week in March. That was after recording 3 consecutive victories, and she wants to call upon herself right now to try and make a couple of big pitches right here.
Sure, the take is on here, and it's not. Galvin, I think, just swung at ball 3. Fouled it away, 2-1.
Bases loaded, 2-0. Pitchers having trouble finding the plate. Might be getting a little tight. That might have been one I would have taken too, Joe.
Good break for the Ducks there. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Ducks clinging to a 1-run lead here in the 7th. That one's right across the plate for strike 2.
Crowd had a little bit of delayed action by the umpire right there. The crowd wasn't sure they were going to call it a strike, even though they looked right down Main Street.
2 teams competing for the lead in the Pac-10. Potential Pac-10 championship caliber teams going at it here. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 2.
What drama.
She struck her out with a heater that was low.
Just a great pitch by Melissa Rice. And Sharina Galvin had no shot at that.
Went chasing a little bit. Swung at 2 balls.
I think that was the ball was outside, so she might have helped Melissa Rice in that situation.
So Deanne Young comes up. She hit into a double play and also grounded out. 2 outs in the 7th. Hit to Barnes. She can't get it. 1 run is in, the tying run. The go-ahead run is safe, and the Beavers lead it. And also advance another runner in the 3rd. So down to the final out in the final inning, and Deanne Young comes through with a first pitch single up the middle, and the Beavers are back in the lead.
Hasn't had a hit all game. Deanne Young takes the first pitch right up the middle for a great clutch base hit with the bases loaded. Take another look at it right here. Right down the middle, and just a great piece of hitting right there. 2-run score, Beavers ahead.
And 6 inches in Susie Barnes' glove is the difference between Oregon winning the game and now having to find a way to rally in the bottom of the 7th. A tough one for Rice to give up, but she comes back and fires a first pitch strike to Danny Chisholm.
Melissa Rice almost made up for the 2 errors she had in the first 2 batters of this inning by striking out for the second out, an Oregon State batter, and then tough break right there, just a pitch that was right down the middle.
Little chopper, first base, off her foot, or a foul ball, 2 strikes. Boy, Beavers down to their final out, and Young just delivers. Sophomore. She didn't give herself a chance to get nervous by jumping on the first pitch.
Yep, jumped on the first pitch. She's either going to be the hero or the GOAT. In this case, she was the hero.
Rice needs to get out of this, though, without allowing another run to come through. That one is high for a ball. Beavers trying to extend the lead a little bit here. Never would have thought with the kind of pitching that these two teams have exhibited all year that we would see a game this high scoring, Rob.
No doubt about it. I did not expect it. I was thinking a 2-1, 1-0, 3-2 type of a ball game, and it's been an offensive, explosion here for the Beavers and the Ducks.
Fouled off, 2 strikes, 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Beavers lead it here in the top of the 7th, 8-7. They've had to come back twice now. They came back from a 5-0 deficit and then from a 7-6 deficit. Oregon with 2 errors here in the 7th inning to start it out. Comebackers right to Melissa Rice, and if Oregon's not able to come back, they're going to feel now Civil Wars are. They're going to feel like they lost it rather than the Beavers won it, but give Oregon State credit for taking advantage of every opportunity.
No doubt about that. And keep in mind, this is only the first game in a 3-game series for the Ducks and the Beavers this year. They'll play another game tomorrow. And as we've mentioned, the winner of this wins the Dodge Oregon Challenge between the Oregon State and Oregon, the winner of this particular series. So a lot of games to be played in this particular series, but let's see how this thing ends right now.
Chisholm at the plate. It gets away. Here comes the runner, and she is safe. Stephanie Ewing scores on the pass ball or a wild pitch, depending on the official scoring. Young moves up to second base, and the Beavers now lead it by 2, 9-7 here in the 7th.
That could prove to be a big run in this game. When you have 1-run deficit, it's a lot easier to come back on, obviously, and the way Brianne McGowan is pitching right now, it could be tough to come back on with her experience. But here we go with a little pass ball. Great hustle by Ewing down third baseline, diving in for the score, making a 2-run deficit, and that might be a little difficult for the Ducks to come back on with the bottom of their lineup against Brianne McGowan.
Probably goes down as a passed ball. Nice play at third base by Joanna Gale, and the Ducks are out of the inning, but not after giving up 3 runs on just 2 hits. 3 runs, 2 hits, 2 errors in the inning for Oregon. The Beavers retake the lead as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Welcome back, everyone. Oregon State leads at 9-7. A wild game here at Howe Field today. Oregon led it 5-0 early. Boy, swings, ebbs, and tides, dramatic plays. And here we are, Oregon with their last opportunity, the Pepsi Team Invitational coming up tomorrow, April 7th. Action starts at 11:30 at Hayward Field. We'll see you there. Big crowd of about 6,000 expected for the track meet, the quadrangular, USC, Kansas State, and Washington coming in to face the Ducks. And, of course, it's the home of the 2008 Olympic trials. The information about the trials when you're at the track tomorrow. First ball is taken straight back to McGowan. She makes the play to first base. 1 up, 1 down as Chappett is out. 1 down, Oregon now with 2 outs left, and Amy Morris comes to the plate.
1 pitch, 1 out right there for Brianne McGowan. A good way to start with a 2-run lead. Now she only needs 2 more outs to secure this Beaver victory.
amazing. These two teams are at such a high level that the difference in the game can be McGowan making that routine play and Melissa Rice not making the same exact routine play in the previous inning.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I think that, if Melissa Rice makes those two plays, obviously that's 2 outs right there. But it didn't happen, and that happens in sports many, many times, Joe. Sometimes that's the breaks, especially in softball.
Susie Barnes comes to the plate. McGowan has not lost against Oregon, and she's trying to work the win the hard way today by giving up a lot of runs, but still having her team explode for their probably their best offensive output against a quality team with 9 runs here today. Oregon with Susie Barnes trying to keep it going here for Oregon. Here's McGowan. Barnes puts it in play, gets that extra hop, and it's an error. Ball is dead, and Barnes is going to move to second base. Now for Oregon, they just need an opportunity to get Salling up to the plate. She's on deck. Sarah Jane Jenkins is the batter, the center fielder. Home run ties it.
Again, spark plug Susie Barnes gets a bat on the ball, and makes things happen. She's at second base right now, so that puts a little pressure on the Beavers. Again, things happen when pressure happens to any athlete, and right now that's what Susie Barnes does. Now we got Sarah Jenkins up, who's had a nice little game also. Her goal right now is to get on base so that Jen Salling can get on.
She bunts it, though, back to McGowan, who makes the play to first, and the Beavers win. She went for the slap bunt, trying to get on base and get Salling to the plate. And McGowan makes the play, and the Beavers come out with an improbable victory today. A couple of big home runs by McGowan, who helped herself at the plate mightily with a towering home run back in the 4th, following it up with a 2-run blast in the 5th. And the Beavers with 3 runs in the top of the 7th. And they get the victory over the Oregon Ducks today. Rob, fun day here out at Howe Field. 2 great teams going at it. Very exciting contest.
Really enjoyed it, Joe. Just nice to be back at Howe Field. 2 very, very good teams. The number 10 team in the country, and another 17 team in the country. They're going to get after it again tomorrow. Looking forward to seeing that also.
Ducks and the Beavers, a couple more here today. Make one tomorrow, then back in Corvallis at the end of April. Hey everybody, thanks so much for watching. Once again, the Beavers with the victory today over the Ducks. So long, everyone.